Hello again, everyone. This is me, Protein Gaming, and what a better way than to start this new YouTube channel than by ranking the bosses of Bloodborne. So, for me, Bloodborne is my favorite game of all time. Currently, it is. Maybe in the future it will change, but there's just something special about this game which makes it so interesting. Just the story, the gothic vibes, the music, the orchestra of the game, the vibes are there. Just basically a London simulator, right? But yeah. So this was my idea for the first video. So and this is going to be very unscripted, just trying to familiarize myself with this new channel and trying out some new ideas. But let's start this with the first boss that you can fight, which is Cleric Beast. Cleric Beast is one of those kinds of bosses where the first time you fight him, it's kinda intimidating, but then after your second run, you just figure out that he's just nothing. The guy has a very nice theme song, the same one used for Vicar Amelia, and I think that's the best part about it. But for a good, for a first impression, the gamer was just see this beast, just cower with fear. At least he can die while hearing to some bangers, right? But yeah, it's a very good first experience. But then after that, you just see that you can fight him in Vicar Amelia with a better arena as well. So if I would rank him for a first experience, it would be an A, just because it's the first boss you fight. But after your second run, it's kind of spoiled, and since it's an optional fight, I'm going to have to drag it down to a B. But every boss in this game has some sort of quality. And then the second boss that you can fight, Father Gasoline, Father Gascoigne here, which is not optional, unlike Cleric Beast, but this guy, this is the make or break for you in the game. This is where you're going to have to adapt to this faster play style of Bloodborne, because before this you only had Dark Souls 1 and 2, and if you go further back, Demon Souls, and those kinds of styles don't compare in terms of speed to Bloodborne, where you need to perfect your parry, and in this case you will need to have a perfect parry if you want to have some success in this fight. And once again, the music, the background music, this boss fight music is just amazing. In the beginning, it starts really strong, and then when Father Gascoigne evolves to his second werewolf phase, you just have this banger track on the background, and also the story that accompanies him, which I don't want to spoil, is also very interesting and just well appropriate to this setting. So this will be a great first, second, third plus experiences. And like Cleric Beast, I would say this guy will always be an amazing fight. Always. And I have to put him as an S. Just because he's that special. But then, what do we have next? Let's see. You can also fight after him. You can also fight the blood-starved beast. He is optional as well, but it's good for you to fight him. You don't want to spend any more souls to open the main cathedral area. So you will probably going to have to fight this guy, which also has a banger of a soundtrack. They all do, and this guy will mess you up the first time you fight him. This guy with his poison, he will mess you up real good unless you know some strats to use some blood cocktails to draw him away. Unless you know that this guy will be a very difficult and very interesting fight. Although it gets a bit annoying with the poison, and once you are poisoned, you lose a lot of health very quickly. And since the guy is a beast, he'll try to attack you constantly. So for me, I like this guy, and this is another boss that you need to have a perfect parry for. If you can perfect parry this guy, you'll be able to do some massive damage without having to worry about poison, poison damage, and all of that sorts. So if I would rank him here, I would and I have, I'll probably put him alongside the cleric beast. This is a very strong fight, but the common theme about Bloodborne is that a lot of the bosses are really good, and when I start thinking about all of the bosses that are still left, I'm like, I can put them all in A, otherwise I'll be screwed. But yeah, for now this is going to stay like this, but let's see later. So after Bloodstarved Beast, we can go to Vicar Amelia. Where are you? Where are you? I'm blind. There she is. So in this case, if you go to this fight already knowing the cleric beast boss fight, you get a bit spoiled. And to be honest, since the design is the same, the the attack moves are different, but it starts. You got a bit spoiled. You got a bit spoiled in the cleric beast fight, and I just feel like this could be a bit more interesting of a fight. The area is nice. It's a big square, but the song is good. The visuals are great in the cutscene, for example. But it doesn't differentiate itself too much from Cleric Beast. So that's why I'm just going to have to put it in a B as well. But all of these bosses are great anyway. And speaking of great bosses, we have the Witches of Hamwick, which of course is an S. Just kidding. In this case, this one also a good soundtrack, also a good song, but it does suffer from the enemy not being that interesting. It just feels like a normal enemy, which you later in the game you will find these witches as normal enemies that you can fight. So they kind of lose their appeal, and they just the arena. The only challenge it has is the other guys that these witches spawn, and if you have zero insight, they don't even spawn. So you just have to deal with the witches. It's one at first, then the other one appears, but this one doesn't provide that much of a challenge. But it's still a nice concept, but the execution is a bit raw, I would say. Still an okay fight. You get some blood echoes, so it's enough. I'll have to put this one as a C for now. And then let me remind myself what you can fight after this. So you can also fight this one, the Dark Beast Pearl, which also, once again, a very good song and a very erratic enemy. This one is an interesting one where if you can do a lot of damage very fast, the guy is no challenge at all. He has lightning, but if you take that out by hitting him a lot of times, he won't even attack you. He'll just try to run away from you. But if you keep on giving it to him, he'll just succumb to that. But if you don't, this guy can prove to be a good challenge. But the arena is nice. The boss music once again is really good, and as a, I'm just going to have to put this one as a B once again. Very good, but not too special of a boss fight. And then let's see what we can have next. So after that, you can go and fight these guys, the Shadow of Yarnam guys. To be honest, this fight is not too interesting for me. The music is also good in this one, which is a common theme. But it feels like they are just some random guys that you can fight that have some special powers, but nothing too interesting about the fight. So, what can I say? I'll put them in C as well. Nice challenge, sometimes if you get hit by some of the fire moves, but nothing too special about this one. And yeah, after that you can go straight to the Vacuous Spider, Rom, and this one. Now I see that I'm a bit screwed with this one because this one feels the same as the Dark Beast Spiral, where if you can do a lot of damage very quickly, you can actually just kill the boss right in the first phase, or even just go from the first phase to the third phase directly with him having little health. But if you don't, I'm gonna be honest. This fight is really weak because you just have to deal with the spiders around him, and sometimes they can one shot you, and that's no fun. The song once again is good, but it could be a lot better of a fight. But anyway, since all of these bosses have some quality, I can't give it a D, so I'll just put it as a C. And after this one, you can go ahead and fight the one reborn. And this one has a very, very good soundtrack as well. I know I keep repeating myself on this, but you just have to hear it yourself. It's just some good, good bangers here on this soundtrack. And this one is kind of a throwback to the Tower Knight fight in Demon Souls. So it's best you take care of the witches on top, and then you can deal with this guy. He has a very, very unique design, some very good music, but the boss fight itself is rather weak. So, but the other things about it, the song, the setting, the design of him are just very, very strong. So I'm going to put him as a B. And next, we can fight this guy. Where are you? Nicolas Cage, right? This Mikolash. This fight is rather weak, I would say. Once again, a very good soundtrack with some nice yelling, but this boss fight could be a lot better. You just run towards him, trying to hit him for a long time, and then eventually you do. And in the first phase, it's very easy to take some health from him, and then in the second phase, you can be doing it very well, and then the guy just one shots you. So that's not fun. But once again, good design of the area at least. An interesting idea in concept, but I'll have to put him as a I'm so unsure about this. Uh, just going to put him as a C for now. And after this, we can deal with Mergo's Wet Nurse. This one is an interesting fight, once again, good concept. The soundtrack is intriguing, not that epic, but very interesting idea for the song. Very baby-like, but a very interesting fight. Not too much fun, I would say, but still a challenge of sorts. So I think I can put this guy in C. But then you can deal with. I'm going to rank the optional ones after this, but let's go to German. German, this fight is just beautiful, basically. I don't I don't think German is a strong opponent. He has some great moves, but with the parries that you learn throughout the entire game, if you are on point here, it won't be that much of a challenge. But just the arena, the song, which is one of the best songs of the whole soundtrack, just everything about it is just so from software masterpiece like. So I just have to put this one in S tier. And straight after this one, we have the Moon Presence, one of the best shots in all of gaming for me. When your character just looks at the moon and this guy just descends from it, just tattoo worth images right there. So this one, I know the boss fight is not all that special because he doesn't have too much health and you can just kill him after killing German. But just a very, very interesting design, very interesting music. The setting is the same as before, so the fight is not that hard, but it's super, super fun. And with everything associated with it and being the final boss, the real final boss, I'm going to put this one as A for now. So let's go through some optional ones. We can start with the easiest to rank. The Celestial Emissary. Very weak boss fight, to be honest. Just some blue goobers that you can that you need to hit. But still, once again, very nice area around him. Some nice music as well, very soothing. So I'm just going to have to put this one as a C. And then Ebrietas. This one has like super epic of a soundtrack, and it's just such a unique design. It's like a something you've never seen before. And when you get to this god, to this ancient one, you just are you can you can just marvel at it and just try to fight him. Is a very hard boss fight, but very fun as well. And when the music kicks in, you're just dialed in, and you just need to appreciate the fight. This one, the same as the Moon Presence, for me, it's just a very unique design, some and very strong song, and a very good challenge. So I'm going to put this one as a A. Then Martyr Logarius, once again, very good song, soundtrack. The design of the castle and everything is super strong. The guy has some unique moves, very interesting. But it's not. I can't really say I love him. I just like him. No homo. But yeah, this one, interesting fight, interesting area. I'm going to put this one as a B for now. And then what do we have? Also Amygdala, which is for me one of the best designs for a boss that you can even fight. The one where you see the tentacles. This one doesn't have the tentacles, but the other ones that do are just so unique looking, just so very interesting. It's just a but the boss fight itself is not all that rewarding. But once again, strong music from the guy who made the God of War soundtrack as well, and seeing this guy just tower over you, it can be sometimes scary. But it's a good fight. It's a nice challenge here. It could be better though. So for now, I'm just going to put this one as a B. And then what we have? Uh, We have maybe we go through some of the first challenge dungeons enemies you can fight. This one, Merciless Watchers, very mid, very mid boss fight. The song is the same as the Shadow of Yarnam. There are three of them once again, but I would say this boss fight is very weak. You just have to hit one of them at a time, and just it's a bit boring of a fight. So I'm just going to put this one as a D. And then this beast possessed soul. You can actually fight this guy randomly in the main campaign. So nothing special about him, just a werewolf with some fire powers. Nothing too special, just try to hit him without being hidden, like the concept of the entire game. But yeah, just this one is a D as well. This Undead Giant, uh, I have nightmares with this one because this guy just sometimes can just one shot you and you are just screwed. The boss fight is rather boring. Just hit him and back away, hit him and back away. Nothing too special about him, so I'm just going to put this one as a D as well. And then we can go through the Keeper of the Old Lords. I like this fight. Very interesting fight because you are just fighting like a normal human like you, and those ones usually are the best. And this one is good. The guy has some special moves, some unique moves. So I think I can put this one in the C tier. Nothing too special about the guy, but not bad. And this one, Pthumerian Descendant, I would say is the same way as the Keeper of the Old Lords. More interesting moves, maybe, but nothing special about him. Also good soundtrack as well. And then this one, eh, I had to fight this one to get the platinum, but nothing too special about this one. A pretty pretty boring of a fight, if I'm to be honest, but sometimes a good challenge. But I don't remember even the fight itself, so it's not really memorable. So I'm just going to have put this one on D. And then we get this one, Watchdog of the Old Lords. This one, very, very strong soundtrack. Once again, from the guy that made the God of War soundtrack. Very strong. The boss fight itself is not all that good because the guy has some moves that can just one shot you, but it has some unique design, like the lava when you hit him. Just overall good design, good song, a big challenge. So I think I can put this one in C. Now we get to the DLC fights. And of course, we start with Ludwig, the Holy Blade. This one is a very special fight. I'm always unsure of which phase I prefer the most, the first or the second. The first is really hard, is really, really hard, and a big challenge. But like the vicious nature of his moves, just a big challenge. But once again, the song, the entire area around the guy, just the entire lore behind him, just a very very special fight and a very strong way of starting the DLC. And then when you get to the second phase, and the guy just shows you his special sword, and the orchestra just blows up. There, you see how special this game is. So I will put this one as an S, of course. And then moving to Living Failures. I know these guys have nothing in special, but the area and the song is just so powerful. I'm very torn on where to put him, but I think I'll put him in B. These guys are weak, but just the whole vibe that you have when fighting them, just a very epic fight, I would say. I know this is very controversial, but yeah, my subjective opinion. And then these ones, Lady Maria, S, of course. I mean, without a doubt. The music, once again, perfection. Just the lore behind her. The entire moves, the entire arena, just everything is perfect for me in this fight. This for me maybe the strongest boss fight of the entire game. Just the whole mood of the fight, the whole vibes, just chef's kiss. And then Lawrence the First Vicar for me, also very, very strong music. Very strong music. But if I have to admit, the boss fight itself can be a bit eh. Because the design itself is not all that unique. You fought this guy in Cleric Beast and Vicar Amelia in the same arena as Vicar Amelia. So, and his second phase is very annoying. Very annoying, but once again, very powerful soundtrack, lore. The lore behind him is just so good. So I'm just going to put him as a B for now. Then an Orphan, of course, just very strong challenge. Very strong challenge. The arena itself is very beautiful, and just a very strong way of finishing this DLC. Just and even when you think you are strong enough, this guy will kick you to the ground very easily. But if I want to rank him, I'm going to put him as an A. So, time to revisit all of my choices here. So, I would say that the ones in S won't go down. And but let's start from C. Yeah. for me, the C stays like this, and the B. I have to put this one as an A. This guy is a very interesting fight, very interesting, and I want actually to put this one as well in A, just because when you think of memory of the fight and the whole lore behind him, you start seeing it like with rose tinted glasses. So yeah, this is my whole ranking, my whole rambling about some Bloodborne bosses. Leave your opinion in the comments. What do you think about my tier list? It's a very good staircase like this. But all of the bosses, even the ones in D, they all have something special. All of them. They are all interesting fights. So if you can just try and play this game, enjoy your time, and listen to the soundtrack. They actually added the DLC music to Spotify. So if you have Spotify, go there. They just released it a while ago. So thanks for listening to this Protein Gaming first video, and hope to see you later. Any feedback you have, just leave it in the comments. Any hate that you want to give, also give it in the comments. A person needs to take feedback, right? So feel free to share anything. See you later.